fucking pagans. That's cool, man.
Oh, guys. Welcome back. We're doing the thing.
I didn't know I was being recorded. I was telling
it was
Aaron
just the
about...
last couple seconds, yeah.
Oh, too bad. Too bad. They have to know now. I was telling Aaron about this new song that I really like. And by new, I mean the song is 12 years old. Something like that. I had never actually, heard the lyrics before. I had listened to the song 1,000 fucking times because I worked at a place that played daytime radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, it was whatever.
Was that really 12 years ago?
TikTok? I mean, no.
Oh, yeah, TikTok.
But it was 8.
Oh, my God. Time flies.
Oh, man, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it was, probably 8 or 9 years ago.
Yes.
And the song, I think, was, about a year or two old by then.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, they would play, Z100 and NRK and stuff in there. And, which are more, contemporary music stations. Alternative-ish. And so, yeah, I had heard this song 1,000 times. I thought it sucked 1,000 times. And then I was just fucking around with, what's that fucking website I look at all the time?
Shazam? No. Not Shazam. The other S one. I've got it on my laptop here.
Instagram.
Oh! Not the one I was thinking of.
Shazam hasn't even been a website for 12 fucking years. You getting your shit off of Limelight?
I'm still on
LimeWire? Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I thought we were talking about, what's the S one?
Let's upload that to the Flickr account, huh?
Dial up the AOL.
I'll tell you
Spotify.
what. I have already put it as my MySpace song.
Ooh.
Yeah, so check that out.
Do you have the animated GIF?
You know what's funny is I never understood how to do any of that.
Oh, the HTML coding?
Yeah, no fucking idea. And so I always knew that one of my old friends was still pretty white trash. I grew up in a very white trash area. There's no longer white trash somehow. Anyway, I would always know that they were super white trash now if I went to their website, their MySpace, and it was just really bright pink shimmery shit. I was like, oh, cool, you haven't changed. That's good. Good for you. Don't you go a-changing, huh?
God, right? Well, that's Megan. I'm Erin. And today we are talking, we're hybriding. We are not
We're
hybriding.
slamming all of our ideas into one episode because we are sick of them.
Yes. So, turns out remote viewing is interesting, but not interesting enough for an entire episode. And aliens, we're specifically focusing
less
on...
interesting.
Yes, we're focusing because we've decided to focus specifically on the disclosure of aliens and not the history of aliens or any of that stuff. It also made for a real short episode, so I'm gonna give you a rundown of my remote viewing class. Spoiler alert, it's about as interesting as the...
As that story I just got done telling nothing.
As the Pentagon's 9-page report about aliens. So we're just gonna dive right into it. So remote viewing. I'm gonna preface that with saying the reason I was interested in remote viewing was I saw a TikTok. as most of my sentences start these days. I saw a TikTok about a guy who was a super famous remote viewer. And I was like, that's interesting. And I went to his website and he was like, for only $900, I'll teach you how to do this. And I was like, that's funny. I only have $9. So I went to udemy.com.
Okay, thank God, dude. Thank God that's okay. I was giving Aaron the very apprehensive eye of girl, please don't tell me that you spent $900 on this for half of an episode.
No. If I ever do that, you will never know it because I will never make an episode about it. I'll be so engrossed in my shame. So I spent $12.99 on this class on udemy.com, which dude, so many things. Do you want to learn how to make little clay hot dogs? I mean, udemy.com. Do you want to learn ASL? I'm learning it on udemy.com. We are not sponsored by Udemy, but we should be for all the fucking classes I've taken on there. So this remote viewing class that I took was 2.5 hours long. I feel like if you have no intuition whatsoever, 2.5 hours is just like a start, like a little taste. But it's a good foundation. So what is remote viewing? It's a child is missing in the hills of Alabama. No one knows where they are. And someone says, are there any psychic remote viewers that can find this child? And you look in your mind's eye and you try to find them. And then, there's like a bunch of people that this is a career. This is like a thing that they get paid to do. I would never want to get paid for this.
Yeah, it seems very macabre.
There's a lot of pressure to be right.
Yeah, that's also true.
So what are the basics of remote viewing? There are a lot of not anagrams. Acronyms?
Acronyms.
There we go.
I was going to say anecdotes, but I knew that wasn't right.
We should just have an episode of Jeopardy one day. We'll just shout things. What's the word I'm thinking of?
That's just how I carry on conversations.
I'm like the S word. Shazam! Fuck. So there's all these different anagrams. That's the... Jesus Christ. You can tell we're almost at the end of season 1. Our brains are poop.
Yeah, you're lucky that you're like getting this cohesive of an episode.
We have eaten, we are well fed, we're doing our nails while we talk.
Life is good.
Life is really good. Unlike remote viewing, which is
a shit show.
A shit show.
I don't actually know that.
I mean, it is and it isn't. So like remote viewing has 3 main parts. Your target, your session itself, and your analysis. So basically what someone will do is they will give you a number. They won't tell you a situation. They will give you a number. And they will say, okay, this is remote viewing session number 0993. You will write that down. And with no further information, they will ask you to basically do automatic writing. Now, if you're not familiar with automatic writing, which I am in depth familiar with, and I'm quite good at, not to toot my own horn or anything, but basically it's you meditate, you turn off your conscious brain, and whatever comes out, comes out. I mean, I used to get real with it when I would do a bunch of cocaine and then sit in my high school bedroom and write poetry.
Dude, I did that on mushrooms.
Yes. Wasn't it like epic? And then you found it and you're like, it's just scribbles.
No, I would do like really good drawings and like I'd write all this shit and then 2 or 3 days later I'd go through my notebook and be like, who wrote this? This is amazing.
Oh, yay. Mine was like, you didn't use that big word right. You didn't use that big word right either. And even now when I write stuff and send it to my editor, he's like, do you know what that word means? I'm like,
oh man, that's the worst ever thing to hear.
I know, right?
I fucking hate that.
Like, I thought
it's my business if I know that or not.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, automatic writing and remote viewing are very, very similar. I would venture to say the same thing, except there's a bunch of acronyms. Okay, they have
acrostics,
acoustics, analogies. They say things like, oh, that's an AOL. Well, don't tell me that it's an AOL because all I'm going to think of is America Online.
That's all I'm thinking about.
And in remote viewing, an AOL is an analytical overlay, which basically is a fancy military word for not real. So remote viewing, what it was is the government tried to employ a bunch of psychics to find locations of dictators and bombs and assassins all around the world. They thought, okay, we'll put these people in a room, we'll teach them how to use psychic gifts to find stuff, and then we'll save money and time, and we'll just go get those things, and then, nobody dies, there'll be no problem, and America wins, yay. But it's one of those things that,
there's a lot of bleed over between this and MK Ultra.
Yeah. Sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
It sounds real good on paper. And then you're, trying to employ it in its natural state, and it's a little more complicated.
There's not a lot of ethical ways to employ means of complete privacy invasions.
Yes. That is very true. Very correct. This is one of those things where they took people who were not psychic and turned them psychic according to them. Now, they say anyone can take a remote viewing class. That what it does is it takes your natural intuition and it shapes it into the ability to remote view, to look out at a space that you do not currently inhabit and be able to identify it. So that is the basics of it. So I took this 2.5 hour long class, and let me tell you what happened. I learned all the things, I did all the things, and I sat down and he said, okay, so write on your paper the numbers 09939-142. I did. And at that point, I had forgotten that I had printed up a bunch of papers that I was supposed to use and reference and look at. And I was just scribbling on a pad. He's like, okay, remote view and tell me what you can find. So I wrote several words down. Cold, dense, wet, vibrate. And then I drew some circles and some like wiggle lines and a couple of real sharp, pointy lines. And that was about it. It took me like 4.5 seconds tops, right? Because at that point I kind of forgot the steps, which were a lot more elaborate. And it's not because I didn't care, guys. It isn't. It's just...
Sometimes boring stuff is hard to remember.
Sometimes boring stuff is really hard to remember. And because I have so much experience with automatic writing, and like automatic writing isn't just for bad poetry. I mean, it is, but it's, like a form of meditation that I will do sometimes. And it's just like, it's just journaling. You turn off your brain and you draw little doodles and then pretty soon they're words and then like, woohoo. You have this whole thing that you wrote while you were relaxing and you're like, oh, look, it says that like I forgive my family for all my past traumas. Yay, or whatever. It's not complicated, but if it's something that you're used to doing, it's a whole lot easier. So I clicked on the next video and it revealed what I was trying to remote view. So it is a small East Indian man standing on the tusks of an elephant in the middle of the ocean. Now at this point I got real happy because I had written cold, dense, wet, and vibrate, which are all things that the ocean does. I drew a circle, which apparently is representative of a person, and then some squiggly lines, which represents water. Apparently my mind knew that. And then the two pointy things, which were the tusks of the elephant. Now, on paper, I was like, holy shit, I fucking nailed it. But if I showed Megan this paper right now, it looks like...
It looks like meow.
It's some gibberish, right?
Kisses, punch, watts. German.
Yes, I know. German was in AOL.
Danny Square.
Now, see how I didn't tell you about all the things that I got wrong? I only told you. And now she's pointing out the things that I got wrong?
It's because I'm an asshole. I'm not trying to.
No. It's because... that's what this is.
It's like a horoscope, how it's designed to make you, it's designed to apply to anything. Now, when you told me dense, wet, vibrate, the first thing that came to mind for me, especially with like you said you drew like some pointy lines, trees, man, the forest.
Oh, shit.
The middle of the forest.
Okay, so that's what they talk a lot about. So that's why they have you just draw whatever shapes come to mind, because you're only supposed to see the tree, not the forest. So like I have this pointy thing and I'm like, okay, now that I saw the picture, I'm identifying it as a tusk. You're seeing it as a forest. That's the whole point, is like you're not supposed to identify it in your conscious mind until after, when you analyze it.
Well, then it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
Like, that's not how science works at all.
No, I also wrote the words sweet, dancing, square. I wrote German
all of this is
twice.
The forest.
Yes.
Germans, square dance, sweets.
Oh, like strudel.
And
strudel
houses
time.
Made of candy.
Totally. This is
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel.
You found Hansel and Gretel is who the fuck you found.
And I'm doing a lot of patting myself in the back right now.
You should.
Because you know what? I'm going to throw the picture of this up on the Insta. What I see is a circle. What Megan sees is me being 100% right about everything. And I'll take it. I'll take all of it. So, and granted, maybe that last part wasn't true. But, and the instructor says, he's like, okay, Nobody ever gets it on the first try. I'm like, bullshit, I just got it on the first try. Did I, though? There's a lot of wiggle room in remote viewing. Now, there are some people that supposedly you can call up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my God, here's the number 876. And they're like, oh, I'll call you back in 10. And then you've got the location of the missing farm boy. I am not sure that that is realistic in an Udemy class. I think that maybe
Especially
takes...
not a 2-hour one.
Yeah, that maybe takes many, many, many years of people telling you how right you are. So you have the confidence to go ahead and, just operate under the assumption that everything you do is going to be right. And then you have the confidence of a mediocre white man to go ahead and find that missing llama or that missing farm boy.
And you will. You will find Anthony and his alpaca.
Exactly. So, what did I figure out about remote viewing? Is it something that you can convince yourself you know how to do without actually knowing how to do it? Oh my God, yes. Is it something that you can legitimately learn how to do? Maybe. Maybe. I'm going to go hard maybe on that one. Is it a program that the government implemented that was successful? No, not even a little bit.
Well, so I have a ton of opinions about this. So many opinions.
I can't wait.
I'm full of opinions.
This is so pretty.
Yeah, those colors are fucking gorgeous. You should put that on the Insta too.
Yeah.
So neither Aaron nor I were able to get too awfully far into remote viewing insofar as like we could not find a whole ton of stuff that we felt was reliable to report.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I had found consistently that I thought was really intriguing was a script. Is that it? Like where it's like an interview and they're just saying like what so-and-so says.
Yeah, transcript.
I found a transcript of a dude who was like remote viewing and talking about a bunch of shit that there's no way that he would have been able to know about because and so that was kind of interesting, but I think maybe what had happened was the only reason that it quit being funded was like it was under some label and marked in like lumped in under a different group, like under like humanities or something, you know what I mean? And they decided to cut that stuff and they inadvertently cut this program and then they were like, fuck. That's not what we meant to do at all. And they're probably still fucking doing it.
They probably are. They're like the Milton in Office Space where they they keep getting a paycheck but nobody notices. Yeah, 100%. This is definitely outdated technology. According to me.
It was another one of those examples of allegedly they wanted to beat out the Soviets. And it's like, just let it go.
Yeah.
Like so much of the shit that the Soviets allegedly do or allegedly have is just that. It's alleged. They're very, very, very skilled at misinformation.
Oh my God.
There's an entire concept that is so fucking interesting called the useful idiot.
Yes.
I don't know if I've gone into this before, but it's even if you are wrong, you can still be useful by spreading propaganda. So the role of the useful idiot is to spread all of this propaganda. And that's kind of one reason that I try really, really, really hard to not just spread a bunch of like conspiracy theories. I try to like make sure that it's fairly well backed in science, or I'm just like laughing at it. But I feel like the two are very apparent, like which mode I'm in. But yeah, it's a lot of the things that we were trying to do in order to thwart the Soviets was shit that they either didn't have or they were in maybe the beginning stages, but there's no way that we would have it would have been able to be weaponized against us in the time in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
You know, like It might take 40 years to fucking develop this shit, so like we don't need to worry about it. I'm pretty sure the war is gonna be over by then.
Ideally.
But yeah, this and actually even the aliens that we're gonna talk about later allegedly are part of a useful idiot style campaign.
Well, and actually, let's go into aliens, because I'm excited for aliens. That was basically it. You're wrong, you're not wrong, you're good, you're not good. There's no solid answer. Are you right?
Maybe.
Maybe. A hard maybe. And that was after like 2 months of investigation. That was the conclusion we came to.
It's a hard maybe.
Yeah. And so again, this is about the disclosure that happened in April of 2020. This isn't just like a hard and fast blanket on aliens, because aliens is like, whoo, it's a whole thing. So in April of 2020, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, in April of 2020, the Pentagon officially released 3 short videos showcasing UAPs, which stands for unidentified aerial phenomena, which is that's what they call UFOs now, is a UAP. So they released 3 short videos and a 9-page letdown in the Department of Scathing Reports. Like it's I downloaded it and I fell asleep halfway through it. It's 9 pages and I lost interest quite quickly. Now we'll get into what it says exactly, but according to CNN.com, the videos show what appear to be unidentified flying objects rapidly moving while being recorded by infrared cameras. 2 of the videos contain service members reacting to how the objects are moving. These are people that are in the Air Force going, dude, what the fuck is that? Why is it moving like that? We don't have things that move like that. That's insane. Holy shit, bro. And other things like that. One of the voices speculates that it could be a drone. That doesn't appear to be the case. Now, the Navy previously acknowledged the veracity of the videos in September of last year being 2019, according to this article. So they're officially releasing them now in order to clear up any misconceptions by the public on whether or not the footage that's circulating is real. Because a lot of people were like, could be, could not be. No, it's absolutely real. It is real footage. According to the Pentagon spokesperson, Sue Gough. G-O-U-G-H. Goosh? I don't know. All pronunciations of her name are impractical and insulting. And the thing about the Navy is I have a friend who was on the USS Nimitz. I'm not gonna say the year, and I'm not gonna say their gender or anything, because they wouldn't appreciate that. But they're legit, and this footage comes from, and a lot of the stuff comes from the Nimitz, and I don't know if that's
really,
yeah, and I don't know if that's the nature of the path that the ship takes, or because it's a nuclear ship. I'm not sure. A lot of UAP phenomena is associated with nuclear energy, which sort of harkens back to, did aliens give us nuclear energy? Maybe. It's the more I learn about nuclear energy, and I want to do a whole month on nuclear meltdowns next year.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. You know, Nick's dad actually worked at the Hanford plant.
No way.
Yeah.
I watched them demolish that from a hilltop in Longview. Like, got up early and was
shit.
like, oh, it was anticlimactic. But I watched it.
I have a cousin whose husband still works there in one of the buildings, doing something or other.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because, the Nimitz, like I said, is a nuclear ship. And then everything that happens around Skinwalker Ranch seems to be centered on nuclear activity. It seems to be a thread throughout alien interactions. So I had anyway, getting back to my friend, I asked this person, like, is this a thing? Like, you were on that ship. And they were like, oh yeah, no, it's a thing. They come up out of the ocean, they fall down from the sky into the ocean, and that got me into a whole USO conversation, which is unidentified submerged objects.
Oh man,
yeah.
Oh man, do you have information about that? Let's know about that.
I do. I had set it up. I have limited information, mostly because right now it's in its infancy in a lot of ways. Like, there are some videos, there are some things, there are some theories. There's nothing solid because we've been looking at aliens since the 20s. from the sky, there is the idea that it's always been a sky-ocean situation, but I
did not know that.
We're just sort of putting together that they can go from the sky and dive down into the ocean and turn into submarines a la a Transformer. So there are things like sprawling lights that come up from under the ocean and then a craft shoots out. There are different thoughts on maybe are there alien bases in the ocean.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool as hell. Do you think that maybe it has something to do with like the pressure change, like the atmospheric change?
Yes. And the oxygen content of the water. I'm really glad you said that, because there are a lot of different theories about why the ocean is a much more perfect environment for them. So this is the theory that I was reading. An alien coming into our airspace and is sort of like us going through the radioactive circle around the Earth that we have to penetrate to get into outer space. Same thing for them. And so, like, once we get into outer space and we have our oxygen and shit, we're good. Once they get into the ocean and they can process the pressurization under there, then they're like, oh, that's better. Okay, let's take off our helmets or whatever. So, are there a series of tunnels in the ocean that lead to other dimensions? That was another thing. Is there an interdimensional space station in the ocean? We literally know almost nothing about the ocean.
Was there anything about Hollow Earth in there? That's one of my favorites.
Ooh. So Hollow Earth is something that I only know about because of Kong versus Godzilla. Those movies, like the one with Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson, and then the one after that with Vera Farmiga and all those. Anyway, I only know about Hollow Earth from that, and I don't know how legit that is.
Oh,
but,
no, it's,
yeah,
I mean,
the idea is
it's completely not probable. I don't think it is. We had a president, and I don't remember which one.
Oh.
And he dead ass believed in Hollow Earth and that there were mole people in the middle of the fucking earth, and God damn it, we need to find them.
It was W.
No, it wasn't. Well, I mean, W also probably felt that, but it was like an old-timey president, like Woodrow Wilson or something.
Oh, yeah, because, okay, getting into a whole
maybe
thing.
that's, maybe,
Yeah.
ooh.
Dude,
I don't like that feeling at all.
I know. So had we chosen to go down an alien rabbit hole, I think we would have a whole lot of hot takes on that stuff. Because we focused on disclosure, like I said, it is a very niche moment in time that we wanted to talk about because it's happening right now. Now, there is a thing with all of the presidents since the 1920s, and disclosure and knowledge and different types of things. But yeah, for sure, there's several presidents that believe in mole people, reptile lizard people, all kinds of stuff. And you know what? It sounds crazy until you find out that there's a reason for all of it. So now, while the Navy acknowledged the veracity of the videos and the Pentagon acknowledged that this, yes, UFOs are a real thing. They refuse to say that aliens were a real thing. They refuse to give us anything about the alien interactions we've had and historically know about. In 2001, now this is, okay, I'm starting to get worked up. In 2001, there was a committee for, truth-telling, basically, that came together, and these were scientists and government workers, and they did a whole disclosure thing. Where they talked about, okay, we worked in the government. This was my job. We all know about aliens. We saw crafts. We saw bodies. We saw things. These are not crazy people in tinfoil hats. These are like government scientists who are science-minded atheists, a lot of them, or God-fearing Christians or whatever. And so we can talk about that. You can research that a lot. It's really interesting. There's a really great video on Amazon right now. It used to be on Netflix. Anyway, it's all about disclosure. If you just Google disclosure, unacknowledged, an expose of the world's greatest secret, all of these things are done by this one guy. He is spearheading this whole campaign of getting rid of disinformation about aliens. So yes, we've acknowledged there's UFOs. No, we have not acknowledged that there's any life. But now we are recording this on May 15th. On May 17th of 2022, in 2 days, there is going to be another release of information. So preemptively talking about this, and the fact that no one seemed to give a fuck when they released all this information. Just heads up, They're going to have a press release on the 17th. You should check it out. Now, between December 2017 and March of 2018, the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences says it was co-founded by the one and only Tom DeLonge of Blink-182. Punk rocker to UFO alien
He's
enthusiast.
big on UFOs, man.
He
that
loves
dude loves
alien.
him some of it.
That dude wants nothing more than to just like give and or get a blowjob from an alien. I think he could die
sounds
happy.
Right. That sounds right.
But what I got was that, you know, they are spearheading this campaign of getting rid of disinformation and talking about aliens and talking about all these things that are basically, if you speak to anyone. Okay, so that was the USS Nimitz. I also spoke to someone who was on the USS Reagan, which is another ship that has a massive history of seeing UAPs and USOs. And I was like, is this a thing? And they were like, yeah, we just don't tell you idiots about it because you'll freak out. And I was like, by you idiots, do you mean like regular people? And they were like, yeah, non-military personnel is who we're talking about.
You idiots.
You idiots. So what started all of this? Why did we even talk about it? Because Marco Rubio, Republican senator and official bad boy of the Senate, urged American lawmakers to take this issue seriously. Now, is it because Marco Rubio is an insane alien lover? Does he want to put his D between a couple of B's on an alien?
Is that wrong?
I think it is.
You think it's wrong?
You know why?
Why?
Because he's coming at it from a whole other angle. Anything that enters an airspace that's not supposed to be there is a threat.
Oh, that fucking guy.
You were so close. Say I want to put my D in its B. Say I want to put my A in its F. Like, they might even have a little Z. I don't fucking know. Say I want to put my fingers inside an alien. I want to put my everything inside and see if I get a boner. Say that. Say anything remotely that's not, we go kill them? We kill them, boss?
God, fucking idiot.
Like, oh, we were so close to making some headway. And
but some people you just can't make headway with.
Dude, you know, that guy puts his socks on before he pulls on his flip-flops 1 foot at a time like the rest of us. You think that he would be like, maybe we could study them. We could be friends. No!
Does that dude seem like he's done a lot of studying in his life?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He doesn't even, like, glance at, like, the terms of service on Pornhub. He's just like, get it out of here! Like, we were so close to having... I was just so startled that it was Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
He's so, like... But then when I found out it wasn't because he wanted to know, it was he wanted to kill. I was like, oh,
yeah, that tracks. No, initially I was kind of like, the Marco Rubio?
Mm-hmm. The Marco Rubio wants to put his stank all over it. And you know what?
That makes sense.
I think it stems from a place of wanting to be the guy who killed all the aliens.
Yeah, that's always a weird concept, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the people who you can tell the only reason they care about this is because they want to kill it. That's weird. That's a weird angle to have, you know?
I ran into this a lot with my Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's my Bigfoot stuff. They want to kill one. There's this whole group of people. Their whole thing is not to record in its natural setting. No, they want to fucking blow its brains out, taxidermy it, and go, I got Bigfoot in my backyard. I got it.
So fucking
This
dumb.
is so awful. And that's why aliens are like, they're not ready for us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we are Florida.
The whole fucking planet is Florida. Oh my God. So, according to the New York Post, despite Pentagon statements that it disbanded a once covert program to investigate UFOs, the efforts remain underway, renamed and tucked inside of the Office of Naval Intelligence, where officials continue to study mystifying encounters between military pilots and unidentified aerial vehicles.
The investigation has disbanded no less than 4 times thus far, though.
Oh,
so,
totally.
I mean, they're not lying. It's been disbanded, but it's been also reorganized under different names.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 times.
I mean, you could definitely call it a UAP. It's still a UFO. It still might have little green men in it. Like, if you have herpes simplex 1, and you're like, no, but I got rid of my herpes. You might have put some Abreva on it, but you still have it. Like, And it's cool. Like, own it. Own that you have it. We can own it. We can take it. If there's one thing that I've learned from studying, doing research for this book I'm about to write, it's that, like, when you demystify something, the overall acceptance and making peace with it is like life-changing for people. Like, if you take your dead grandma and you're like, ew, she's dead. She's been dead for 4.5 minutes. Just, like, get her out of here and bring her to me when she's a pile of ashes. Yeah, there can be a lot of scary thoughts that occur to you about, like, are they gonna, take parts of grandma's foot and, like, cut it up before they throw it in there? Or, like, is grandma rotting as soon as, like, she got in, the van or whatever to be taken to the crematory? Like, when you have no point of reference on what's actually going to happen, your mind can go a little swirly. It can go a little Marco Rubio. So if we're like, no, there's no aliens, and if there were, they would just want to butt fuck us to death and kill us, then yeah, people are going to freak out. But if you go, okay, hey, look, there's aliens. They don't give a fuck about us right now. We're just sort of existing together. Like, we haven't had these big intergalactic council meetings about how to butt fuck everyone to death. Like I think we'd all be a lot cooler than we are with it. Demystifying.
Yeah.
Empowering.
I agree with that. Once you take the taboo away, it's like people are a little bit chiller about stuff.
I mean, look at the Labradoodle.
Yeah.
Intense genetic melding of things used to be called not Dianetics. Oh my God, not Dianetics.
Eugenics?
Eugenics.
Well, that's more just the stopping from certain people of having similar genes as other people.
Well, that's true, but a Labradoodle was bred to be hypoallergenic.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, eugenics, versus, like, designer dog, morally, is there a difference? So it kind of comes down to that. Yeah.
Yes, there is morally.
Yeah, because people.
Yeah, that's part of it. There's a difference.
I think there's a difference too. I think it's good food for thought. This is the rabbit hole we've been existing in. So let's talk about the types of aliens.
And which types of aliens are into eugenics?
Oh my gosh. So I'm going to say all and then none at the same time.
Most, actually. Surprisingly, most aliens are very, very into eugenics. It's a problem.
It's problematic.
It's problematic as fuck.
I mean,
they don't want to go to Earth because they know they're going to get their asses canceled. They're going to be like, ooh,
right.
These takes are too hot, so...
All I did was pull my dick out
in
a room and was like, look at it.
Right.
I mean, I didn't force
I didn't
her.
make her touch it.
Yeah, I didn't force her to touch it. I'm just thinking of Louis C.K. now.
I know, me too.
Oh my God. So there is a theory. There's a widely publicized theory. Here, I'm going to state it like this. There's a widely publicized theory that humans are derived from alien DNA and genetics.
Oh, yeah.
This is also the plot of that Alien movie that I just watched with Michael Fassbender in it, where he's like the robot David.
Is that Prometheus?
Prometheus, yeah.
Yes.
That's vastly
So,
expressed and accepted.
actually, check this out. So, I have had the pleasure of knowing somebody who was an otherwise... Nah, he was pretty much an idiot all around, actually. But he genuinely believed in the Inuyaki.
So, okay, is that the half angel, half human that I learned about on Supernatural?
No, that's the Nephilim.
No, that is the Nephilim. I just stopped listening when Dean Winchester's on TV.
The Inuyaki are tall like Nephilim, so I mean you're part right, but they're also the reptilian race that has brought us here to mine our resources.
Oh, okay.
And
I say that like
I don't know how they're going to collect our primary exports.
I thought our primary exports was like poop, because we generate so much of it, or like
if they're
non-clean
trying
water.
to mine the planet for plastic,
Yeah, right.
then they, oh man,
Microbeads.
joke's on us.
Oh shit, we have been plentifully giving them oceans full of plastic.
Yeah, come get it.
Dude, we have all
Please.
the disposable diapers, those microbeads that I like washed off my face for how many years before I realized like they're bad. Yeah.
I never did use the microbeads, actually.
They tricked me. I still have giant pores. It didn't work. My pores are very dissatisfying.
Aww.
I know, right? I got my okay, we'll talk about that in our treat yourself month.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. So would they also be called the reptilians or the draconians or the ancient aliens?
No, I mean, maybe. I've only known about them as the Inuyaki.
Okay, so maybe they're different. So there's them assholes that just want all our plastics. Damn.
They can have them.
Right? So then we have the classic Greys. The Greys are supposed to be some of the most terrifying to encounter. Like, people who say they've had encounters with the Greys were irrevocably damaged from the level of fear that these guys implemented on their psyches.
And so, just for reference, these are like the classic, like the, you know, the aliens from the 90s with the big eyes.
Yes.
And like, you can see them on tie-dye shirts that like,
it's like Roger.
hippie grandpas are wearing. Yeah, Roger.
Roger from American Dad.
Do you think that maybe that's why there's so much representation of them, is so we are less scared of them?
Yes, absolutely. Just like with the Coco in the Ocean. That Disney
I was
movie.
thinking Michael Fassbender, but
yeah. Michael Fassbender. God, he is like
alarming.
I'm intensely attracted to alarming men.
Ugh.
I am intensely attracted to him because he is so problematic. And I can't say that of many people.
I don't like him because he seems like he would kill my dog.
Yes. Yeah, one wrong move, I would live on eggshells. It would be intense.
I did that before. I dated like a really shitty guy for 2 months and
sucks.
Whew.
No, I just want to bang him. Like, it's a whole thing to like live
I didn't
together.
even want to bang this guy. He pretty much told me we're together now, and I was like, but you're shitty in bed, and I don't like you very much as a person.
I hope you're listening right now, because she just put you on blast.
Yeah, Zach, fuck you.
Oh, did he spell it Z-A-C?
No, I think it was C-H.
Fucker. We'll just think of him as Zach with no H in our heads.
I didn't like him.
I don't like him either.
Now, see, the Zach that I did meet, the Z-A-C, he was very nice. He's the one who thought that I was like kind of slow. I liked that guy.
Yeah, that guy's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to malign the C's, the ZACs in this world, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't.
I only met one, and he was really nice to me.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this guy spelt it with an H, though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Fuck. So the Greys are gray-skinned humanoids. They're usually 3 to 4 feet tall, completely hairless, with large heads, black almond-shaped eyes, nostrils without a nose, slits for mouths, no ears, and 3 to 4 fingers, including the thumb.
So, okay, what is it specifically about them that's so scary, then?
I guess it's just something... Okay, so you know how we emit a vibration of fear and animals can smell it? It's something like that. It's like something to do with their whole aura, their whole jam. Whatever they're putting out there, their Axe body spray is triggering like massive fear responses in people.
Oh, I think maybe it's like spiders, how they're more scared of us than we are of them. They're like, these giants are fucking wild!
Oh, yeah. Why are they always coming for us?
Right, yeah. So they think that we're the scary threat. We're the King Kong.
Yeah, so they have to, like, because they're so little, they have to give off the fear thing.
Absolutely.
Totally.
That's what I do.
So I've been cutting down trees in my backyard.
Yes. You understand this more than anyone.
I do, and I was confronted with a pregnant, not spider, a pregnant snake in a tree. And I looked at it, and it looked at me, and I was like, hey, come come on, let's get you safe. Let's get you out of here so I can keep cutting this tree down. And I thought it was legit dead. I came back 2 days later, it was in the same spot. I was like, Mom, this spider or this snake is dead. Will you help me get it out of the tree? She went to go get it with the rake, and it fucking whoop, 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 fucked off, right?
No way.
And I was like, damn, you had 2 days. You were so scared of my chainsaw that for 2 days you just sat petrified in a tree. All I was trying to do was like rehome you to the ivy below the tree so I could cut the tree down.
Yeah, but you know that if you were that snake, that's exactly what you would have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was an errand snake.
That was an errand snake, because when I saw that snake, I screamed all like, ah! And my mom was like, whoa, God, what's happening? Did you cut yourself with the chainsaw? And I was like, snake. Yeah, totally. It was the errand snake. I just wanted her to live. I didn't want to accidentally mutilate her pregnant body and release her dead snake babies early with my chainsaw. I've been going hard and heavy with the chainsaw. I will venture to say that I'm an expert with an electric chainsaw that is battery powered and requires no revving of an engine, and cutting down arborvitae trees, not real trees. Not like big trees.
They're shrubberies.
Yes. So when we moved into our house, we had a bunch of beautiful arborvitaes that lined the property, and they were all completely overtaken with blackberries and ivy. So we're trying to clear those out and bring in beautiful, beautiful fresh bamboo. But yeah, so they give off like the stink of fear. Now there's the Nordic aliens, or the Pleiadians, which also called the Tall Whites or the Argathans, which are humanoids with stereotypical Nordic features, which is like tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, and have featured in several cases of like actual contact.
So they're like sexy Thor aliens?
They definitely are like Thor aliens. They want a bone. Like a lot of them want a bone. There's one woman who wrote books about how many times she has boned this tall white. It is said they are from...
And they have noses?
They do, yeah. They're humanoids. Which is where we get the whole, like... I mean, they look exactly like us, except they're bigger. We're like homunculus to them. So that's why they think we're like genetic...
Oh, that's so weird of them to come down and fuck monkeys.
Well, homunculuses
that
were just...
That is not a good look.
They were mostly just tiny. They weren't actual apes.
Well, homunculi actually, that is what a fetus was called before it became in between like the it's a worm stage and the it's a person stage.
Oh my God, gross. Yeah. Gross. I've had 2 inside me. Ew.
Totally.
Yeah, so people say that we're like derived from them. And they're from ancient Earth, but they're actually presenting themselves as ETs, but they're really time travelers coming to the past.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That moved from living on the surface to living underground.
Still, that's a really cringe thing for them to do.
Yeah. Like, and okay, they got bigger when they went underground. You're supposed to get smaller when you go underground. There was some like natural event that led us all to live, which...
Maybe it's on a different planet that has,
yeah,
less atmosphere, so we grow more stretched out instead of more condensed.
Ooh, like trees trying to reach the sun.
Yeah,
like tall humanoids trying to get the...
Like, it's like how fish get bigger.
Koi fish get bigger depending on the size of their pond.
Yes, if the pond was atmospheric pressure.
Oh, okay. Damn, we're so smart. Do you hear how smart we are?
I mean, I'm saying big words. That's not the same.
It's the same. I have based my entire identity on that being...
On me being smart?
On me being smart, because I know big words that I don't use properly. So last but not least, and definitely this is not the end of the list, but it was just as far as I was willing to go, reptilians or draconians or ancient aliens, which are tall, scaly humanoids. Reptilian humanoids dating back to at least as far as ancient Egypt, with crocodile-headed half-man beasts. So, the reptilian conspiracy theory has been advocated by David Icke. It's that, Anubis is, like, a literal interpretation of, like, a half human, half...
Cat?
Dog. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah, it's one of those dogs, like the oh gosh, what's it called? It starts with an X. It leads you into the afterlife.
Yes.
It's like the dog from Coco.
Yeah, you guys know it. You're screaming it at us. Yeah, the hairless,
The black hairless dog from Coco.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So he David Icke says that, that this is it's all more rooted in time than it is in interdimensional space travel, which I'm here for. I'm into. Like, that's fine. So for the first time in over 50 years, Congress is planning to hold an open public hearing concerning the UFO phenomenon next week, which, like I said, is in 2 days. So on Tuesday, May 17th, 2022, under the auspices of the House Intelligence Subcommittee on Counterterrorism, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation, the hearing will center around the Pentagon's Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. That's a lot of big words. Which was created by the Department of Defense this past November with the purpose of detecting, identifying, and attributing objects of interest in special use airspace, as well as assessing and mitigating any associated threats to safety of flight and national security brought about by these anomalies. Why didn't they just go, weird stuff in the sky, and if they want to hurt us? That would have been such less of a mouthful. But yeah, so, I mean, I subscribe to the Coast to Coast AM daily emails, so I'm looking forward to getting mine with a full breakdown of this subcommittee's findings. Maybe you should too. I would say we're going to post a link, but we're not going to post a link because you know what?
You know how to work your phone.
Yeah, if you want it, you can go get it.
Right.
Do you want a tall Nordic alien who might lick your little homunculus toes? Go find him. He's probably on Craigslist.
Yeah, actually, he probably lives in Northeast and makes his own beer.
Craft beer. Oh,
he's probably in a metal band.
He's probably spinning his own wool from his alpaca and then selling it on Etsy.
That doesn't sound bad.
It doesn't.
That sounds a hell of a lot better than having a shitty metal band. Not to say that all metal bands are shitty, because that's definitely not true.
No.
But generally, people who brew their own beer don't make good metal.
Or good choices, I'm going to say.
Sometimes they could have made better relationship choices.
Yeah. Better job choices.
Sometimes they got one job as, like, a fabricator when they were 18, and they make, like, $120K a year.
Yeah, they're getting ready to retire, and we're all
and they're like 45.
Yeah.
It is usually, though, very one or the other.
Yes. Yeah, Dave has a friend who just retired from being a pipe fitter, and then was so bored being retired at 45 that he went back and got another job. But yeah, so that's it for today. We have decided, after some serious contemplation, some soul searching, some intense back and forth, and eating of thoughtful sandwiches.
So many. We're
going to do a season 1 wrap up next week in honor of our very last episode of the season. Don't worry, we'll be back in September. We'll be back.
See you.
What's that? What's that terrible graduation song that they always play? Is
it the Green Day one?
No, the Vitamin C one. Do you remember her?
Oh yeah. I do remember her. She was in Dracula 2000 with Gerard Butler when he was all Twinkie.
He was Twinkie, and he had a weird face at that point.
I was into it.
I was too.
Yeah.
He was.
He had his eyes were cobalt, and that was strange.
Yes, that was so strange.
And I liked it. Yeah, it's weird that he was so small though.
He was teensy.
And now he's all
teensy little guy.
Scottish.
He was always Scottish.
It
was always underneath that.
Was
Twinkie.
it?
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
You know, Australia used to
He's
be...
definitely not, you know how Madonna got, he's not like that. He's always been Scottish, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's not like he was from, Des Moines, and then just one day was like, you know what? A fucking Scottish accent. I'm going to speak with...
the hardest accent ever.
I'm going to master the Scottish accent and speak exclusively with the Scottish accent from this point on. And then from 2003 on, he was like, nope. I'm not Gerard. I'm now Jared.
Jared. Dude, my mom came upstairs the other day. She had this weird look on her face. And I was like, what's wrong? She's like, I just watched the worst movie. And I was like, what? Tell me more about this movie. She's like, it was written and starring Kathy Lee Gifford. And I was like, oh,
What the fuck?
well, that sounds terrible. She goes, yeah, she goes to Scotland and falls in love with Craig Ferguson. I was like, all those things are so... Craig Ferguson's my punk rock guy. What is she doing there? She can't have him. And she's like, she went there, they fell in love, and she moved into his giant Scottish mansion. And I was like, you know what? You know what? Kathy Lee Gifford, I'm coming for you. Dude, you took my dreams. You took my dreams and then you put yourself in them. And now I have to come. And,
There's only one thing you can do.
Kill
You
her.
have to fuck Frank Gifford.
Oh no, he dead as hell. I gotta go fucking corpse.
I know. I didn't say it would be enjoyable, but it's better than fucking Kathy Lee.
Oh
But I'm
my
bummed.
gosh. Do they have a son? Can I fuck a junior? Like a kid? Frank Gifford Jr.? No, after Dave dies, I'm gonna go completely off the rails and just like, well, I can't afford the ticket to Scotland, so I guess or I wouldn't be able to go to Namibia, so I'll just go to Florida and shake my egg-shaped body at weird dudes in like old retirement communities.
Florida's expensive. More than likely, you're going to end up in Little Rock.
Oh my god. I am gonna end up in Little Rock, a vaguely ethnic, fat, old socialite. Oh my god. I'll start saying things like, well, in my time, a gentleman was a gentleman. And so, yeah, next week is our last episode of the season. And afterwards, we are going to go to the spaghetti factory.
Yes, we fucking are.
We're going to eat. Actually,
We're fancy.
yeah. We're going to sit in the trolley car. We're going to eat all the
Yes.
cheese bread, and it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be pretty fucking cool.
Dude, my nails are so pretty.
I'm not even done with
Your
mine.
nails are so pretty, too.
I just have to put so much glitter on them.
I know, right? I
don't
put a
have
lot
a
of glitter on,
choice.
too. Worth it. We have pudding, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're going to go eat some pudding now.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, sorry about last week, scheduling conflicts and whatnot, but, like, got one more, and then we're going to take the summer off, so.
Yeah, and we're going to come back with a whole bunch of treat yourself
Treat
episodes.
yourself, radioactivity. I mean, I've got
Yeah.
a laundry list of things I'm collecting.
What else are we going to do? There was something else exciting.
There was. I can't remember it now.
Yeah, me neither.
ADHD.
Yeah, right?
See you next week.
Bye.
Doot, 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 doot.